Hey friends, hope you're doing well. My name is Steven and thank you so much for joining me on this video. Today I want to talk to you about this shoe right here, the Vans MTE Crosspath shoe. And I want to tell you about my experience of taking these out to a hike that I recently did, and I ended up climbing a mountain peak that was over 11,000 feet in elevation. I want to tell you my experience, the pros, the cons, and whether or not this shoe is the new hiking shoe king. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so on the day of the hike, I felt pretty comfortable with these. I felt like I was getting a lot of support down here as I was walking. Definitely did not feel like I was getting a lot of, I felt like I wasn't feeling every rock and pebble underneath my foot. I know with certain shoes that certainly is the case. I wasn't experiencing that with these. I need to have a lot of support and a lot of cushion underneath my foot when I am out on the trail. But these definitely felt like I was getting the comfort level that I need when I'm on a hike, and especially when I'm on an all-day hike like I ended up being on this particular day. Another thing I liked about these is that they offer a lot of traction right here on the bottom. These are definitely a lot better traction that you will experience with regular Vans shoes. I have worn old school Vans shoes in the past. You guys have worn those shoes, you know what those shoes look like. There isn't a whole lot of traction down there. You know, it might work for skateboarding, but certainly not for the trail. And these definitely have a lot more grip, a lot more teeth, if you will. It's just a more rugged design all along the bottom here, and I definitely felt like I was getting the traction that I needed in order to be on the trail, complete the hike, and climb on rocks. I felt a pretty good grip when I was climbing onto rocks, small boulders, things like that, and didn't really have a whole lot of problems with the traction level with these. On that morning, we were experiencing colder temperatures. Obviously, it's going to be colder in the mountains, you know, and it felt probably like in the 25 degree range as far as how cool it felt. And I was thinking that my feet were going to be cold because when you look at the material right here, the material appears to be a little bit more thin than like a leather type of shoe, but that wasn't the case at all. My feet did not feel cold throughout the journey, in the beginning of the hike, and certainly all the way up until I got to the mountain peak. Didn't feel cold, didn't feel uncomfortable, didn't feel like I was regretting not bringing wool socks. Didn't feel like that at all, and it was pretty resistant to the cold. So I don't know if I would actually take these on a snowshoeing adventure necessarily, but at least for that morning, 20 degrees, 30 degrees outside in the mountains, these held up pretty well. Now there's no denying that these shoes are pretty stylish. Vans does a pretty good job when it comes to making their shoes look very modern, very stylish, and even keeping to the old school look of some of their other type of shoes. But at least the newer ones, they just look really, really nice. These are standouts. I know when I went into the Vans store, I was just browsing. I was just going in there and seeing what the latest, greatest, nicest shoe was. I haven't been in the store for a while, and these stood out. These stood out to me. You know, the color certainly stood out to me, and I ended up getting this color. The yellow color is fantastic. I love this color. To the dismay of my wife's choice, I ended up getting this color anyway. You're not gonna have a problem of looking like, you know, you're just a square as far as style goes when you're out on the trail, or for casual wear, you know. But these are fantastic. In addition to taking these out on a hike, I have been wearing these as my everyday wear type of shoes, and these are fantastic. The versatility that has been promised by Vans of this being a versatile shoe, I do believe that in the promotional video they were talking about, you know, using these on the streets, on the beach, and on the peak, you know, that you would actually, that you couldn't go wrong with using this with its versatility, and I definitely would have to agree with that. It has been very versatile as my everyday wear shoe. It's been fantastic. It's very comfortable, very supportive, and yeah, it's great. Now, I didn't feel like these were stiff type of shoes. They're not stiff shoes at all. They're very, very flexible. And, you know, as opposed to like other hiking shoes out there, you put them on and it takes a break-in period in order for them to start to loosen up and to start to feel comfortable. That's not the case with these. These are very, very flexible. And yeah, these are very reminiscent of a trail running shoe. So ultras, you know, things like that. La Sportiva, I know they have running shoes as well. It's a similar concept with these as well. So you'll get a lot of flexibility with these. Another great thing about these shoes is that they offered a lot of breathability when I was on the trail. Again, I didn't feel like my feet were cold in 20-degree temperatures, and they didn't feel sweaty at the end of the hike. Especially when I took off my shoes, didn't feel like, you know, like they were just really, really sweaty. That wasn't the case with these at all. They're very, very breathable, and like I said, just very, very comfortable. But that's fantastic, you know, because I know with certain hiking shoes out there, they really don't seem that breathable. You know, they really just insulate your foot a little too much and you end up with sweaty feet. But these, not the case at all. Okay, so when I did go to the Vans store, yes, I really like these. Yes, I wanted to buy them, but I held off because I wanted to do my research a little bit first. And that's what I did. I went online and I was reading the reviews of what people thought of this shoe so far. And one of the things that definitely stood out as far as being a con was the narrow toe area and just how narrow it is for people who, you know, I think this was designed more for people who have narrow feet rather than people with wider feet. And that was definitely a drawback to that. And it was certainly the case. You know, I went into the store the second time around, and then I asked for my particular size, and they brought it out, and sure enough, I started walking with the shoe, and it felt like it was just way too narrow. I was starting to feel some discomfort, serious discomfort right here in this area. So I had to actually size up, probably about 2 shoe sizes, a half size and then a full size after that, and that seemed to fix the issue right now. Right now, they're just at a point where they feel really, really comfortable. But just be aware of that. If you're the type of shoe buyer that buys their shoe online because you already have a designated shoe size that you go with everything, I would strongly, strongly recommend that you actually go into the store and try these on first, because you may need to buy a half size, a full size up, just to make sure that you're comfortable enough to have your foot in the shoe. Otherwise, you know, you're gonna have to deal with a lot of returns, and that's gonna be really annoying, especially if you're buying online. But just be aware of that the toe area is more narrow than your traditional hiking shoe. Now, because I had to size up a couple of sizes in order to accommodate this area of my foot, I did feel like I had a little bit extra space right here in the back heel area. It's not so much where I feel like my foot's just swimming in the shoe, you know, but there was a little bit of space back here. And the way to try and make it more comfortable for myself, I ended up just threading the shoelace on these back holes right here. It seems to help a little bit, and I actually put these through the wash after that hike, and it seemed to actually help a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't think these are made of cotton. They're actually made of recyclable materials, but for some reason it did help a little bit. But it's not a deal breaker for me. I still really, really like the shoe. I love the shoe, and yeah, I'm gonna continue to wear it. Now, another thing with this shoe is that even though the top of the shoe gives a lot of really good protection right here in the front, this black material right here is flexible. This is not a toe guard. I know with certain hiking shoes, they definitely offer toe guards right there, but that is not what these are right here. So just be aware of that. And I mean, it's there for style and for aesthetics, but it will not protect your toes, you know, so just be aware of that. Again, not a deal breaker. And then back here, same thing. These are not ankle guards back here. This is not hard material. It's not the same material as the bottom sole. Again, more for aesthetics and for the look. I still like them. They still work. So what is my overall verdict when it comes to using these as a good hiking shoe? You know what? These did pretty well on the trail. These were on a trail that was rugged and put a lot of miles on that day, and they just performed pretty well. You know, they're comfortable, they offer good support, good breathability, good traction overall, climbing little boulders and rocks and things. I didn't really have a problem with that. Now, will these actually replace my main hiking shoe? These are actually going to serve more as a backup. You know, these are going to be really, really good backup hiking shoes. I look forward to actually using these again, perhaps on a hike, but mostly these are going to serve as my everyday wear shoes, just because I like them so much, and they're very, very comfortable, and they're stylish, they're fantastic. So I will definitely stick with these as my everyday shoe, and every now and again I might actually take it out on the trail. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let me know your thoughts, if whether or not you're actually going to get this shoe or what your main hiking shoe is. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys next time.